So I'm thinking as I go here about life, as you do. And I suppose initially I'm thinking that the purpose of life appears to be about creating more life. So a human is born, grows up, learns skills, does romance, and then produces the next generation. So the purpose of life would seem to be about creating more life. And that's pretty much the end of it. A continual process. It's hard to conceive of an end goal, a reason. It just seems to be there for itself. Life doesn't seem to have an end goal. And then, of course, there's death, which is part of it. And it does seem a bit pointless, I suppose, is the one way to describe it. Life would appear to be an end in itself, and there's no easily defined goal for the purpose of life. One question, I suppose, is does life need to have a reason, does it need to have a goal? Another question is life significant, or is it more incidental and broadly irrelevant? It is really hard to assess the importance of life. Are we essentially, as humans, are we essentially like bugs, just irrelevant? Is there some larger drama going on? It is really hard to make a judgment as to the importance of humankind. Without having an endpoint, without having a goal, it's hard to grant significance to the human race. It's hard to assess how valuable the human race is when the endpoint is unknown. There doesn't seem to be an endpoint. It does seem that the human race is incidental. It doesn't seem that there's any significance to be applied to humanity. It could be a case of saying, is it significant enough that humanity is here? And if a human being lives a life, that's important in itself. I think we are inclined to see it as not sufficient, which is why we've created an afterlife, whatever. We feel that life should be significant. It's difficult to see life as just an irrelevance, just an incidental thing. But it is so hard to understand what the goal might be. Myself, I'm not inclined to think that there is a purpose to life. But at the same time, I am thinking, why life? Why do we have life? Considering I think it takes a lot to make life work. it seems like a case of much ado about nothing. And for some reason, I'm thinking that we wouldn't exist just for the sake of existing. It seems like a lot of work to make life function just for the sake of making life function. It feels like there should be a purpose and a goal. Of course, it's very difficult to determine what that goal might be. So I can't judge right now what the significance of life is in the universe. I do know, for example, we make relative judgments about life. We don't regard the life of a dog or a cat as being particularly significant. Or monkeys or gorillas or whatever. We don't rate their lives very highly compared with ours. There is a scale of importance. So life itself doesn't seem to be significant to us, and we kill insects all the time without thinking about it. As life becomes more complex, then we give it more importance. But fundamentally, we only regard human life as being of ultimate importance. I'm not sure that it's right to regard other life as insignificant or relatively unimportant. I'm not sure why I'm rambling about life, but it was just on my mind.